Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the time of this video, we'll be discussing excuse me, a document. I don't know. Supposed to be going to stupid coughing fits and start my videos. Um, for discussing this video, I'm going to discuss a documentary that recently aired on the MLB and the Major League Baseball Network called Against the Odds: The Story of Mike Piazza. Now, of course, the reason doing this video is, of course, this is Monday, July 18th, and this coming Sunday, which is Sunday, July 24th, Mike Piazza will finally get his just due and be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame along with Ken Griffey Jr. So the MLB Network decided to do a whole documentary, or 1 hour documentary on Mike Piazza. Now, where is the documentary for Ken Griffey Jr.? That's what I like to know. But they did one for Mike Piazza first, and I'm gonna tell you, I think that this documentary was way too short. It jammed a lot of stuff in there, and I wish the documentary was about maybe a half hour longer, so it would go have more stuff in there. But for the most part, I thought it was a good documentary what they had, and Piazza finding the odds to get into the major leagues and have a successful. Well, of course, obviously it was successful because it's going into the Hall of Fame this year. But how he had to go, what did he have to go through just to even get to the major leagues? Didn't even get drafted by somebody. Of course, it starts off with when he was in high school. All he could do was hit. I mean, there was no question that Piazza could hit and hit with power. The problem was that he was an awkward fielder. That was the problem. He was very awkward in the field. He mostly played first base. He originally played first base. He wasn't a catcher. And of course, all the scouts came around and said, "Okay, yes, the guy can hit, but he can't field. He's supposed to be a first baseman. He can't field." So Tommy Lasorda, who happened to be Piazza's godfather, and they explained why, because Mike Piazza's father and Tommy Lasorda were childhood friends. And of course, that's how they lasted this relationship for these years. And of course, they were. Tommy became Mike's godfather. They said, "Hey, this guy can hit." And he convinced the Dodgers scouts to go check him out. And he says, "Hey, draft this kid." I said, "Yes, he can hit, but he can't field." I said, "I don't care. Draft him. Do a favor for me and draft the kid." So they drafted him, so the Dodgers, of course, drafted him, and in the 62nd round. It was like 1,320 something pick in the 1988 draft. So it was so low that they had absolutely no expectations for Piazza even getting to maybe even AAA, but much less getting into the major leagues. So when Piazza was first drafted by the Dodgers, they sent him to the Dominican Republic to train as a catcher. And that's how because they felt that, hey, he's not going to get to the major leagues as a first baseman because he's awkward. Let's try as a catcher, we're going to have to be, so that's not going to, a defense. So I said, okay, so he tried it, and he got there, and when he got to Vero Beach, the manager of the Vero Beach team, which is of course the Dodger affiliate in the Florida State League, he said, so the manager said to Piazza, the only reason why you're here is because Tommy did you a favor and forced us to draft you and to sign you to a contract. That's why the only reason why you're here is because your connection with Tommy Lasorda. Because of course the Dodger management wouldn't deny Tommy Lasorda anything. That's how Piazza got drafted. And so of course Piazza got ticked off because he was getting all this flack from the Vero Beach manager, plus from other higher ups in the Dodger management. That the only reason why he's there is because of a favor at the time of the sword. Because he was the manager there for so long, for about 12 years at that time, and a long time minor league coach. So as a favor, that's why Piazza got drafted. So he had this chip on his shoulder, and he proved it well enough to finally get into the major leagues. It was a September call-up in 1992, and he stayed there for the whole season from '93 on, and he, of course, won Rookie of the Year in 1993. Of course, they went into I think in '95 or '96, the Dodgers got into the playoffs, but they got knocked out in the first round, which I didn't even know, and I didn't even remember the Dodgers got into the playoffs in '95 or '96, because simply because of the fact that they got swept, I didn't even remember they were in there. I thought that the Dodgers never got into the playoffs when Mike Piazza was there. Anyway, in 1998, that's when they were going into the details of how Piazza got traded to the New York Mets. Fortunately, the Dodgers didn't directly trade to the Mets. He was traded first to the Florida Marlins, and that was when the Marlins dumped the entire World Championship team, because the Marlins won the first World Series in 1997, and they were the first wild card team to do it. And they were owned by Wayne Honzaga at the time, who of course owned Blockbuster Video, and of course you can tell Blockbuster Video has gone out of business. And they were getting rid of the entire team, all the high-priced talent. And for some reason they ended up getting Mike Piazza, and he was only there for 5 days. He played 5 games. I think he had like 5 RBIs in the 5 games. And they were going to quickly trade Mike Piazza, get him off the team quickly. And originally it was supposed to be the Cubs. And Piazza tells a funny story. Before he was going after a game or something, he was going to take a shower after a game. Goes into the shower. He said, "Okay, going into the shower is going to the Cubs." Before he took the shower, as soon as he came out, his agent says, "Guess what? You're going to the Mets." So it's like after the shower, he found out he got into the Mets, and there was a big media hoopla when he was traded here. And at first he struggled, and then eventually he got into the groove, and then the Mets almost got into the playoffs in '98. And of course in '99 they got into the wild card team. The Mets were the wild card team. And of course they lost to the Braves in the playoffs. And then of course in 2000 when you had the Roger Clemens beanie and the bat throwing incident in the World Series. And of course in 2001, of course the moment that Mike Piazza Hall of Famer was of course the 9/11 game where he hit the home run. And the 9/11 game it was on YouTube. So if you haven't seen the 9/11 game, please check it out. I mean, it's long. It's like almost 4 hours because of all the pre-game ceremonies and everything else. But it's worth saying just for that home run, because that's why Mike Piazza is going in as a New York Met, because of that one moment, because of that 9/11 home run game. And of course, Mike Piazza said himself that he was saying to disavow himself from that game, because he doesn't consider himself to be a hero. Because many people who were survivors of 9/11 and or lost someone in the World Trade Center attack considered Mike Piazza a hero. They said, "You're a hero because you hit the home run and let my life story over." Pretty much. And thanks to they consider Piazza a hero. There was one story about a woman who lost her husband, who was a firefighter in New York, worked in Squad 288, which I think is in the area where I live in Queens, New York. Her husband was killed in the World Trade Center attack, and she has 2 sons. And of course, naturally, they're all depressed and they're all sad for the obvious reasons, because they lost their father. And they thought they're never going to smile again. And then they went to 10 days later, after the terrorist attack, that's when they had the first game in New York. And not according to Ken Burns, because he featured the stupid Yankees in the 2001 World Series, they even talked about this game at all, and the significance of this game. When Piazza hit the home run, her 2 boys were smiling for the first time in 10 days. And it's like their lives started over. Even though of the tragic loss of the father, they felt like their life started over because Piazza hit the home run. and they said to Piazza, and the wife or the widow says to Piazza, "Thank you for giving my boys the smiles back. Thanks to you with the home run, I got the smiles back. I thought I never going to smile again, but thanks to you, they're smiling again." And considered Piazza a hero. He didn't consider himself a hero because he hit the home run. I mean, that's how Piazza felt, and he still feels that way to this day, 15 years later. And that was really something. And of course, very briefly, they did discuss the screwing that Mike Piazza got for his first 3 years on the ballot. They didn't get elected because sports writers felt, particularly Bill Madden, primarily Bill Madden, formerly the New York Daily News, who was writing columns and doing interviews on television because last year in 2014, when everybody thought that Piazza was finally going to get in the Hall of Fame, he did a television interview for a show on the Mets cable network, SNY. And he says that several players told him off the record, those who played with Piazza and those who played against Piazza, that Piazza was on steroids. Which of course is a fact that could not be proven, unlike with Roger Clemens, unlike with Barry Bonds, unlike with Rafael Palmeiro, Ivan Rodriguez, Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa. Those six, or the senior six, they were all on steroids. All of them. So I figure since all these guys were on steroids, Piazza must be on steroids too. Even though they had no proof that Piazza was ever on steroids, he never failed a drug test. He was not on the list of the Mitchell Report, which came out after, I think, 2006, 2007. The Mitchell Report came out. His investigation of steroids in Major League Baseball. Piazza was never mentioned on this. He wasn't not even mentioned. He was never He didn't testify in front of Congress, unlike the other players I mentioned already. All of them testified in front of Congress or in other hearings. Piazza didn't because there's no proof. And of course, the only proof that Bill Madden had, and Jeff Perlman, who wrote a book with Roger Clemens, who went into the Piazza-Clemens battling incident, even he says that Mike Piazza was on steroids because he had acne on his back, or pimples on his back. Oh, that's a sign that Piazza was on steroids if you have pimples on your back. You know how you can get pimples on your back? You sweat your guts out. Causes pimples. I know for a fact, okay? So if you sweat a lot, it's going to cause pimples. Especially if you're catching in 100-degree heat on a Sunday afternoon, you're going to eventually develop pimples somewhere on your body. And, on your legs, on your back, on your chest, on your arms, on your head, on your forehead, you develop pimples just on sweat alone. And that's probably how he developed pimples, because he probably sweat a lot. But not according to Bill Madden, it's because of steroid use. So that's why he was kept out the first 3 years, because of that, and they delved into that on the MLB documentary. But unfortunately, one thing they didn't discuss was the accusation that Mike Piazza was a homosexual. That's the one thing they didn't put on the MLB thing. Now, next week, after the Hall of Fame ceremony, SNY, which is the Mets Sports cable channel, they're going to do a 3-hour thing with Mike Piazza, so I don't know if they're going to put that in. I probably will see. I might do a review on that, but that's not to next week. But one thing they didn't discuss was the accusation that Mike Piazza was gay. So the gay rumor. The reason why the gay rumor even happened was that Mike Piazza was at a charity dinner or something, and he happened to be there with Sam Champion. For those of you who don't know who Sam Champion is, at the time the story came out, I think it was like 2002, 2003. Sam Champion was the local weatherman for local ABC affiliate here in New York City, and he was also working for during the weather for Good Morning America on ABC as well. So, and Sam Champion is openly gay. So because of that, they thought that, oh, since they're together talking and whatever, or kidding around with each other, ragging on each other, they thought that Piazza was gay. But that's how that thing started. And Piazza had to come out and make a statement and say, I'm not gay, I'm not a homosexual, never been a homosexual, I'm not interested in that lifestyle. I was never into that lifestyle of being homosexual. And but people still think he was gay, not only because of that, but because he occasionally Mike Piazza dyed his hair blonde. So must be gay because he dyes his hair blonde. And he didn't beat the crap out of Roger Clemens after he threw the bat at him in the World Series. So the gay thing they didn't put in, but everything else I thought was very, very good what they did. And those of you who haven't checked it out, please do so. So that's my review of, um, against the odds, the story of Mike Piazza. Please click on the video, please rate it. Feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my videos and not only my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com. That's OWDY.com is the homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer. Christy Moore. Please check out all of his content, not just his TV trash videos, but all of his content as well. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.